In this video, I want to point out the massive contrast in how Kessinger was feeling towards finding out that Shanann and the kids had gone missing. There's a stark contrast in how she describes what she texted and said to Chris Watts over the few days of Monday the 13th and Tuesday the 14th of August. She begins by describing how she didn't really worry about the fact that they were missing and that Shanann probably left to get away for a while and to punish Chris by taking the kids. I'll first show you clips of her talking about this and how it didn't really set off any red flags in her mind. But then I'll also show you clips of her massive contradictions and her excuse for the change in how she felt. And the change, what she claimed, was because she found out that Shanann was pregnant in the papers. Take a look at what she had to say about Monday, the day Shanann and the kids had been reported missing.
That's why I gave him the benefit of the doubt for the first day, because I was just like, no way. Like, I didn't even think about that. I mean, murder was not on the top of my mind when somebody doesn't come home for an evening, especially if they've just, like, had some sort of, like, heated conversation. It's like, okay, you guys are separating, you have a heated conversation, you leave for a night. Like, I didn't even think this guy killed his wife. I mean, that like, murder is on something on the top of my mind when I call one of my friends for 3 or 4 hours and she doesn't answer the phone. Like, that doesn't even process to me as, like, a real thing that is a possibility at that point. What's going on, you know? But first when he told me, like, his family was, like, not home, that didn't really seem odd to me, that his family wasn't home. It was really vague. I'm like, okay, like, are they at the grocery store? Like, elaborate. And so, you know, and then, but he says, call me like it's like an emergency, but then just says that they're not there. And so I'm like really like floored by that. Well, not like floored, but just kind of like, and I'm like, why would this girl call the cops? Yeah, and like, I honestly do not remember the order of operation. He told me like she was going to go to a friend's house, and I was like, okay, well, maybe she left, you know, maybe she just like went to her friends. And then I think I don't remember, but I think he was the one that told me that her cell phone and her purse were still there. I think he told me that.
He told you her cell phone and purse were still there?
I think he did. I don't remember.
What's the significance of that in your mind at that time?
At that point, I thought this woman was really trying to get out of this house.
Okay.
That's what I thought, because he said that they'd had a disagreement, and I was just like, okay, well, I mean, I leave my cell phone at home.
When he said disagreement, what did he tell you what it was about, or?
Not at that point. Not at that point. So, again, like, you guys are going to have to check these texts, because it's all, like, but I remember him saying that, and I'm just thinking, like, well, maybe she was in a rush, you know? Like, maybe she was just like, I'm going to my friends. I'm leaving my cell phone here because I don't want you calling me. I don't want anyone else calling me. I mean, there are days where, like, when I'm outside of work, I will just shut my phone off. I just do it, and it's, like, my way of getting peace. So to me, that, I mean, like, it was weird that it wasn't even that weird to me that she left her phone just because I leave my phone, but it was weird to me that she left her purse. But knowing the fact that that girl was, like, always on her phone, then, yeah, I guess it is kind of odd.
Like, she lived on her phone, I think,
yeah.
pretty much, is my understanding of her and a phone. So, I don't know if you knew that.
I did.
Until prior to the media stuff, or just from Chris.
I did.
So, did that strike you as odd? But you're thinking maybe she just left.
I just thought she needed to, like, get away from the situation. I mean, that didn't seem that awkward to me, that a couple that is going through a separation would be like, I need to leave. I just need some space. Like, it didn't even, like, process. I was like, okay, like, give her some space, you know? And on that note, too, so he's, like, texting me a lot of this information, and I'm starting to kind of freak out. And it's not like I'm freaked out like, oh, she got murdered. I mean, that is not what I thought. It's like, okay, like, the way I looked at this, like, apparently his wife had been gone. Kind of throws her off the trail of where she's at, you know? And it's like, it sounds kind of weird, but it's like, he really made this sound like this woman was just, like, upset, left the house, And that was probably what he thought happened to her. And so I didn't really put too much, like...
Did he tell you the kids were missing as well
Yes,
with her?
I knew.
Okay.
I mean, which alone with her. And I was like, and if for some reason you are alone with her, I told him, I was like, I really thought she just left. I did. I was like, get your phone, put it on video, and put it in your pocket. And I was like, and just zip it up. What was going on? I assumed that she had left, so I was like, well, when you get back, because I knew that they were going through it.
What were you thinking at that time?
This was like on Monday. Again, at that point, I was like, I still thought she left. I mean, this was all on Monday. Like, I legitimately thought this woman left the premises with her kids and just wanted nothing to do with him for like 24 hours.
So his story was believable that she was,
Pretty much.
she's just leaving and she's with a friend.
That was kind of what he thought. And that's kind of what he had me believing. And at the time, I wasn't really alarmed because it'd been like a half a day.
Sure.
And so then Tuesday rolled around.
And now take a listen to the difference in how she describes feeling on Tuesday, and how you can go from not worrying at all and thinking Shanann had just left, to, in her words, freaking out and being scared.
So Tuesday rolled around, and she still wasn't around. And this is when I started getting kind of sick. Like, my friend Jim was sick on Monday when he came up, and I don't know. I just started feeling like crap as it was. And then I was just kind of having a hard time focusing and like thinking about what was going on. And I'd asked him a few times, I'm like, where's your family, Chris? Like, where's your family? You know, and he would tell me like, oh, I don't know. Or I didn't even make it through the entire workday. Like, I was feeling really, really sick, like in general. And then I got so sick, I was just like, I need to go. I just like packed my stuff and I left work and I went home. And so Tuesday, after that conversation, I told him, I was like, I told him to delete his text because I knew he was like going crazy texting me, and I didn't want any of his friends to see him texting me because I don't think they knew about me. It had nothing to do with you guys. It was just like, I mean, and you'll see him, you know.
The secret.
Oh, and like I kept telling him I was scared. I was really freaking scared. In fact, that's another thing I'm missing. I'm so tired. Monday night, like, I called him back in the middle of the night because I could not sleep. I could not sleep at all. And I remember when I called him, he sounded like he was sleeping. And I was like, how the hell can you sleep right now? I think that's exactly what I said to him. And he was just like, I'm just kind of dozing off and on the couch. And I just remember thinking, like, I haven't shut my eyes yet. And this is not even my family. And so that happened on Monday night. So then I was going somewhere with that had to do with Tuesday. I kept asking him too, like, what did you do, Chris? What did you do? And he was like, I didn't do anything. And I'm like, where's your family? And like, I asked him that. I don't know if I started doing that on Tuesday or if I started doing that on Monday, but I think it was Tuesday, because I don't really think I was that alarmed on Monday. And then in my head, just kind of like stressed out. And I remember I like walked out of the room, went in my bedroom, and texted Chris one more time. And I told him, I was like, if you did something bad, I was like, you're going to ruin your life. And I was like, and if you did something bad, I was like, you're going to ruin my life. And I was like, and I promise you that. And he responded back to me, and he's like, I didn't hurt my family, Nikki. And that was like the last text. That was the last time we ever talked. And I never said another word to him after that.
That was Tuesday.
That was Tuesday. And then he left me alone. He gave me the space that I asked him.
You said that. What are you thinking? What were you thinking, that he maybe did something to his family?
Yeah, I started getting really scared.
What caused that thought?
The fact that he lied to me.
Okay.
And that she still wasn't home, and it was day 2. Like, I figure if you're upset for a day, you leave for a day, but you come back. It made me, like, I just started getting scared. And I remember, like, telling him that throughout the whole day. Like, I don't even know how many times I texted him that. I wouldn't be surprised if it's, like, 8-10 times. Where I'm just like, I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. And one of the last texts that I sent to him, too, I told him, I said, I'm scared because I feel like I don't know who you are anymore. And
his response to that?
I don't even...
She admits she's freaking out on Monday night too, and that she can't sleep. So which one is it? Do you start freaking out on Tuesday after you found out that Chris had been lying to you? Or was it Monday night when you said you didn't pay much attention to the fact that they'd gone missing? It's a complete and utter contradiction. And it's because I think she's lying. I just don't understand how, if she had no involvement in the disappearance of Shanann and her kids, how Kessinger can go from not worrying in the slightest to really scared and even accusing Chris of hurting his family. And this is before anything had come out about the murders. And we know that so much anxiety and being scared can make you feel sick to your stomach. But there's also something else that can do the same, and that is guilt. I do think that the reason for these contradictions and the difference in how she was feeling from one day to the next is that she knows that the cops can gather all her texts, even though she tried to delete them all. And through these interviews, she knows she needs to come up with a reasonable excuse as to why she's texted some of the things she did. So I think Kessinger knew a lot more than what she let law enforcement know. And it begs the question, was she involved in the disappearance of Shanann? Or was she a witness to Chris or someone else doing something unlawful? Because she says to the cops, "Remember, we're a team," and describes herself as a witness. And my question is, a witness to what? Thanks for watching. I'm Truth Untold.